So, we are back again with the discussion of this exercise, right. As I just told you some time back that there are around what 31 questions, correct, and we have to, it is not important, it is not necessary to attempt all of them. I have designed the exercise in such a way that you cannot attempt all the questions in the given 25 minutes. So, then you have to choose which questions to attempt, which questions to leave, right. Those that are a little bit tricky to attempt in the beginning, they should not be attempted at all, correct. So, according to me, the easy questions which are straightforward calculation based, and that also, and safe questions are the data sufficiency questions. So, your order of attempt should be first 6 to 10, right, then it will be 16 to 20. These are two easy sets. Straight away you will get 10. Out of 10 you will definitely get 8 of them correct, right. Then the difficulty starts. The first set is also very easy, then you can go for 1 and 2, correct. Then now the difficulty level is still arising, right. You can also choose 24 to 27, which is a very easy set, which is comparatively easy set as compared to others, right. 28 to 31, that I also found that to be a little bit calculative, but an easy one, okay. Then 21 to 23, in fact I will place 21 to 23 higher than 28 to 31, simply for the reason there are 3 questions, there are 4 questions. So, level of difficulty is a little bit higher, so you can play it safe here, and last you can attempt the 11 to 15 set, right. 3 to 5 are also you can attempt somewhat in the middle here. This is your order of attempts, and if you do like this, ideally I feel that you can score at least 20 of them without too much risk, right. So, we will discuss some of the good sets, some of the sets which really caught my eye, right. The first 1 and 2, that is also a very, I mean it is a comparatively very easy set, right. So, let us discuss the sets one by one. Sorry. So, 1 and 2, it says the following table shows that the sales of a company in different continents as a percentage of the total annual sales of the company in all the continents put together for each of the years 2001 to 2005, right, and the percentages for all the continents is given. Needless to say, the columns add up to 100% of all the continents, right. It also says the total annual sales in 2004 were lower than in 2002, while the company's total annual sales in 2001 were lower than 2003. It is lower, not higher, it is lower than in 2002, correct. So, number 1, the sales of the company in Asia in the years 2002 were. Now, you will see in Asia in 2002 and 2004. So, in 2002 it was 15% and 2004 it is 11%. Suppose if the total sales in 2004 were say y and it is x, you can definitely say that y is less than x. It is given over here. Now, 11% of y is what? 11 by 100 into y. 15% of x is what? 15 by 100 into x. Now, leave out those 100 here, you are getting 11y and 15x to be the values. So, y is less than x. So, 11y is definitely less than 15x. So, in 2002, the sales of the company Asia were definitely more than in 2004. So, answer for 1 will be C. Clear or not? In the second question, the number of continents in which the sales increased from 2001 to 2003 is at least. Now, we are seeing that the company's total annual sales in 2001 and 2003. So 2001 sales is higher than 2003 sales, okay? Lower than, sorry. So if this is y here and this is x here, so x is less than y, it's given over here. So number of continents in which sales increased from 2001 to 2003, we can say those continents whose percentages are increasing from this to this, the sales definitely increased. Even if the percentage would have been same, then also the sales would have definitely increased. That's what I am saying. So even if in a new data set, even if you find that say South America 2001 4% and 2003 would have been 4% as well, then also the sales would have increased. Why? Because 4% on a higher base, 4% on a lower base, right? But here the percentages are higher, so you can be safe here. So you can say South America 2001 4% and 2003 7%. Clear or not? So South America, the sales have definitely increased. Okay. Africa 3 and 5 definitely increased. Okay. Asia, we cannot say 12 and 10. How much is more, how much we cannot say. So those that have decreased, we cannot say that. Australia, it has increased. The percentage is increasing and the increased percentage is on a higher base. So 6 to 10, it is definitely increased. So how many continents? At least 3. So answer would be C. Clear or not? Okay. Now if you come to question number 3 to 5, these are straightforward calculation questions. Your calculation ability is tested here. What is the total sales that you are getting? Can you please tell me? It is what, 10,720? Is it? It is 10,720. So then you have to calculate a little bit, right? So I will tell you just straightforward calculation questions. What approximately is Mumbai's contribution in the annual sale? Let's approximate a little bit. Mumbai, Jan to March, it is 822. Let us assume it to be 800. April to July, 793. Now 793 is close to 800. So we can assume it to be 800 again. So 800 and 800 is how much? 1600. July to September, it is how much? 7. 2300. Clear or not? And 2300 and October to December, it is how much? 814. So it is roughly 800. So it is how much? 3100. So Mumbai's total is 3100, right? The total sales that we have calculated, that we have to calculate a little bit. It comes out to be how much? 10,720. Assume it to be 10,000. You don't have to calculate here. 10,000. So 3100 by 10,000 is nearly 31%. The closest option to 31% is 30.9%. So the answer is, now don't start calculating as 10,720 into 100 and how much, right? That would have been the case if the options would have been closed, but it's 3,100 and 10,720. The only two options are closed, 30.9 and 31.5. 33.3 cannot be definitely a possibility. 31.5, right. Very good question here. Now you are seeing it is roughly 3,100 that we are seeing here, right? But the lower value is not 10,000. It is 10,720. If it is if it would have been 10,000, the value would have been 31%. Since the base is more than 10,000, the value definitely will be less than 31%. So 31.5 is eliminated straight away. Even if the options are perceived to be closed, so the only calculation required here is total sales. Otherwise, you can do the calculation manually. When you add something, you add it approximately. 822 and 793 is as good as saying 800 and 800. 800, 800, 1600. 1600 is 16. 16 and 77 is how much? 23. 23 and 8 is how much? 31. Leave alone those 14 and 1 and all these things. It will all be cancelled. If the options are so close, then it's pure bad luck for you. You have to leave that question. I told you just before that leaving a question is as important as doing that. But this is not the case here. The options are a little bit far. Even if you say 13.9 and 31.5. Clear or not? Number of refrigerators sold during the quarterly period of winter concession were how many more or less than those on the millennium concession period? What is the answer? A very easy question. So here you have to add it little bit. This is again a calculation question, but pure calculation, 9 more. Add this one, you have to be very careful which is more or less. So yeah, that you have to be very careful here. Question number 5. What is the percentage of the refrigerators sold during fully July to September quarterly? It will be from July to September quarterly. What is the value here? So July to September quarterly. Let's add it a little bit. 400. Right, it's July to September quarterly, right? It's July to September quarterly. So let the options be 419 and 403 is how much? 800. 800 and 700 is how much? 1500. 1500 and 700 is how much? 2200. 2200 by 10,000 is nearly 22%. It will not be 20.3%. That you can definitely say now, right? So it will be 22.1. Okay, options again close here, but you have to use your judgmental ability here. Okay, now question number 6 to 10. What is the rate of compound interest? Now here the options are, see the options very carefully for data sufficiency. Question number 1, I mean A option is B alone but not A alone is option A. A alone but not B alone is option B. Either of them is option C, and not sufficient is option D. So I have changed it a little bit here. So you have to be very careful here. Clear or not? What is the rate of compound interest? A certain amount invested, the compound interest rate amounts to 1331. The amount was invested for a period of 3 years. So what is the answer then? So we can say P principal into 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power 3 is equal to 1331. Right? So what is the option? Now students will say, sir, if I put this to be P to be 1000 rupees and this to be 10% and raise it to third power, the value comes out to be 1331. So the value of P is 1000. But there can be other values as well, whose combination with R might make this value to be 1331. So don't jump straight away. So we can say the answer will be cannot be determined. So answer will be D option. Clear or not? Okay. What is the percentage of the mother? Father's, now here you just see the option, mark the answer. Father's age is 8 years more than the mother's age. No problem. Father got married at the age of 28 years. Doesn't say anything, because I have to know the percentage of the father as well. That is not said. Marriage age is given, but not the present age. So we cannot determine. But from B we can say present age is 30, and 4 years back the ratio of mothers to father is 12:13. So here we can find out the answer. What is the answer? You don't need to find out. We can find out. Definitely get the answer of mother to be something. Okay. So answer will be option number A. Okay. Okay. Then we move on to question number 11 to 15, the set of 11 to 15. Now here what it is saying is that XYZ manufacturing company produces a product which has a 6-month demand cycle as below. So all the monthly demand is given. Now some statements are given below as well, that if the company's policy is to retain safety stock of 20% of monthly demand, and each month's safety stock becomes the opening stock for the next month. So opening stock for Jan is 50 units. Each unit requires 10 labor hours and company works 8 hours a day. So this set to me is a little tough to attempt, but we'll do it in a systematic way, right? So for each month we can say Jan, Feb, March, April, May and June. So the opening stock that is given, then a demand is given, right? Then the reserve, and hence the production requirement. What will be the production requirement for each month, right? So it says company's policy is to retain safety stock of 20% of monthly demand. Clear? So 20% of monthly demand. So 20% of monthly demand is how much? 20% of 300. Jan is 300. So 20% of 300 is 60. The demand is given to be 300. The opening stock is 50 units. So opening stock is 50 units, right? Opening stock for January is 50 units. So what is the production requirement? So opening stock 300 plus reserve is 60 minus opening stock, you have to subtract it. So the production requirement for Jan will be 300 plus 60 minus 50 is how much? 310. Clear or not? Then the reserve becomes the opening stock for Feb. So it is 660. Okay. Feb is 500. Demand is given. 500's 20% is 100. So the production requirement for Feb will be how much? 500 plus 100 is how much? 600. 600 minus 60 is how much? 540. Clear or not? Then comes to March. March, this is 100. Okay. Then what is given over here? 400. Okay. So 400's 20% is how much? 80. So 480. 480 minus 100 is how much? 380. So 80 becomes the opening stock for April. Let us complete the whole thing. April is how much? 100. 100's 20% is how much? 120. So 100 plus 20, 120 minus 80 is how much? 40. So May becomes, this reserve becomes the opening stock for this one. So it is 20. May is 200. 200's 20% is how much? 40. So 240 minus 20 is how much? 220. And similarly for June, June's demand is 300. The reserve becomes the opening stock, so it is 40. So 340, 300's 20% is how much? 60. So 360 minus 40 is how much? 320. This completes the whole table. So what is the opening stock for June? 40. So the correct option for 11th will be B. What is the production requirement for March? It is 380. So it is C option. Right? Then comes question number 13. In which month is the production requirement highest? As you are seeing, February has the highest production requirement. So the answer for question number 13 will be Feb. In which month opening stock is the lowest? So in which month? May, the opening stock is the lowest. So answer for 14 will be May. Now 15th question, there is a small calculation here. It says if there are 20 workers employed currently, then how many workers need to be laid off in Jan to accommodate demand? So 6, 2, 3 and 4. So as we are seeing here, in the table it says that 300 into 310 into 10 labor hours. So it is how much? 3100 labor hours. Okay, 3100 labor hours that you need for Jan. And the company works for 8 hours a day. So how much days, working days is? 22 days per month. So for Jan, the total working days will be 21 into 8. 22 into 8 is how much? 176. Right? So 176 labor hours per month. So how many workers are required? 3100 by 176. What is 3100 by 176? Can you tell me what is the value of 3100 by 176? It is roughly 17. Approximately there are 17 workers that are required. But it says that 20 workers employed currently, which means we have to lay off 20 minus 17, that is 3 workers to accommodate the whole demand. Clear or not? Okay. Production requirement is something like this. Say if demand is 300, okay, so if demand is 300, it says that 20% has to be reserved. So 300's 20% is how much? 60. and minus opening stock is 50. So 300 plus reserve is 60 minus opening stock 50. So it becomes 310. The reserve becomes the opening stock for the next month. And then the demand is given in the table, 20% you calculate and then accordingly. So 310, it says that there are how many labor hours? 10 labor hours. So 310 into 10 is how much? 3100 labor hours is totally required. You have got 22 workers, right? 22 days per month. And if worker works for 8 labor hours per day, the requirement is 22 into 8 is how much? 176. So to require 176, 3100, how many laborers are required? 3100 by 176, that is approximately 17. So 3 workers have to be laid off. This set is a little bit tricky to attempt, but I explained this set because from the knowledge point of view. From 15th question, right? Very good. But the set requires a little bit of intuition, a little bit of calculation as well, right? But more about common sense. That's why you should attempt it in the end. First you attempt the 15-20 questions that are required, then you attempt this set. This set is purely from the knowledge point of view. 9. What is question number 9 that it says? Okay, the sum of the 2 digits is 8. It is 8. So can we get anything from here? No. 1/5 of that number is 15 less than half of 44. Half of 44 is how much? 22 minus 15 is how much? 7. 1/5 of the number is 7. So the number is 35. So what is the difference between 2 digits? 5 minus 3, 2. So we can get the answer from the second. Right? Yes, yes. Everybody will assume that both the statements are required. Right. Not needed at all. Not needed at all. This is just to confuse you. Right? Similar is the case for question number 10 as well. If you see, how much minimum marks will be required to pass an examination? All the long statements is given, but straight away you can say from first statement is same as second statement. A little bit of tweaking is required. So both the statements individually answer the questions. The answer for that one will be option number C. Clear or not? Come to question number 16 to 20. I think this is also a very easy set. The average of the 3 quotations. Now here option number mark A, if the question can be answered with the help of statement A alone. So this is less confusing because from 6 to 10 it was A if it would have been answered with B alone. But this is with the help of statement A alone. Okay. So mark A if the question can be answered with the help of statement A alone, B with the help of statement B alone, C with the help of both the statements but not with the help of either of the statement, and D we cannot answer the question. So 16th question. Average of the 3 quotations for a particular item is 120. So total of the 3 quotations will be how much? 360. 120 into 3 is how much? 360. Correct? Is the highest quotation less than or equal to 139? The lowest quotation is 90. The one of the quotation is 125. Okay, the lowest quotation is 90, one of the quotations is 125, the third quotation we can get it, and whether we can say whether it is equal to 139 or not. So we can get the answer to the question combining both the statements. Hence the answer for this will be C. How many people read both Economic Times and Financial Express? Out of 300 readers, 200 read Financial Express, 220 read Economic Times and 50 read Indian Express. So there are 3 conditions given. Nothing can be got from here, right? But how many people read both Economic Times and Financial Express? From the second statement we can definitely say out of 300 readers, 200 read Financial Express, 220 read Economic Times and 50 read neither. So from 50 read neither, so 300 minus 50 is 250. They read either of the papers, right? If they read either of the papers, so this value will be how much? 250. So 250 is equal to 200 plus 220 minus those people that read both these papers. So you can get the value of x, no need to calculate here. Okay. So here the answer for this question will be option number B. A bus started from bus stop P, developed engine trouble and reached bus stop Q 40 minutes late. What is the distance between bus stops P and Q? So the engine developed trouble after travelling 40 kilometers from bus stop P and the speed reduced to 1/4 of the original speed. But how long does it travel for 40 kilometers? That is not given in the first statement. So we cannot answer the question from first statement. But can we answer the question with the second statement? Yes, we can, because it says it traveled for 2 hours and the speed then reduced to 1/4 of the original speed. So the delay in time is given as 40 minutes, right, and the speed delay is also given. From here we can get the speed, the reduced speed and the total time as well. We can get the answer from the second question, no need to calculate, right. So we can get the answer of this question from statement number B, and which means we can get it from the option for this will be option number B. What is the value of the prime number x? X plus y is a 2-digit number greater than 50. Can we say, can we infer anything here? There can be countless number of possibilities. Y is a 2-digit number, again countless possibilities. Combining also there are infinite values that are possible. Hence the answer for this question will be option number D. What is the time difference between Nairobi and Mumbai? The departure time at Nairobi is exactly 6 p.m. and the arrival time at Mumbai is next day 3 a.m. local time. We cannot infer anything from here. But it says the flight time is 6 hours, which means when it arrives at Mumbai, it is 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. at Nairobi. And Mumbai it is 3 a.m. which means the difference is 3 hours. We can get the answer combining both these statements, hence C is the option. Clear or not? Now let us leave some of the questions for you to do, right. I will attempt this 21 to 23. You have not attempted. Can we discuss 21 to 23 or you want to attempt it? Okay. So students, what you can do is attempt this set. You will get the answer key, no problem, but you can attempt this set and then we can again continue this, right. If there are any problems, we can contact the, you can get in touch with me, right, over the internet as well, over the website GS Score as well, right, and then we can continue it, right. Hope you like this session a little bit. Hope I cleared the doubts of DI and DS, right. 24 to 27 is a very good set. Please attempt that set. Okay. Thank you so much and looking forward for your cooperation.